Some have called a new Texas law the accidental legalization of marijuana, and that law legalizes hemp, but it's had the unintended consequence of making it more difficult to prosecute marijuana cases. Andrea Lucia explains why and what cities are doing about it.
It's the most common crime Tarrant County courtrooms saw last year. But here and across the state, the number of new misdemeanor marijuana cases is plummeting. The tumble started in June. 2 months later, cases were down by half.
What happened in June?
Our legislature effectively legalized hemp.
This is a bill that regulates the production of industrial hemp.
State lawmakers passed the new hemp law unanimously.
There being 144 ayes and 0 nays.
It was intended to allow farmers to cash in on a new crop, but the unintended effect is a big one.
How much of a game changer was it?
It changed the definition of marijuana.
Dale Smith was deputy chief of the Tarrant County DA's misdemeanor division when the law passed. Before, prosecutors could rely on an officer's testimony to confirm something was, in fact, marijuana. Now, suddenly,
Hemp was the same plant, but with less than a 0.3% amount of THC.
And the only way to tell the difference is with an often expensive lab test.
These tests can range anywhere from $88 to $400.
The DAs in Tarrant, Dallas, and Denton counties all determined they can no longer accept marijuana cases without a lab report, leaving it to individual police departments to decide whether or not to pay for one.
Becoming their own decisions as to how they want to investigate cases, how they want to use their resources.
New data we obtained from the State Office of County Administration shows the impact. After the hemp law went into effect last year, the number of marijuana cases filed in Tarrant County dropped by more than 2/3, and in Dallas County by just over half. In Collin County, the numbers appear at first glance even greater. But there's a catch here. Unlike other counties, the Collin County DA's office says it's not turning away any cases, choosing instead to hold hundreds open until a state lab can test them. Denton County, meanwhile, saw a much smaller drop in court filings. The DA's office attributed that in part to local police department willingness to get lab results.
It all seems inconsistent.
You said inconsistency. I've always used the word schizophrenic.
David Sloan is a defense attorney specializing in marijuana cases who says the new law has forced cities to consider how much they're willing to spend to pursue these convictions. In August, the Plano Police Department told its city it would need an additional $49,000 in its budget to test more than 500 suspected marijuana cases. Without that, it warned, we will be unable to continue to prosecute marijuana cases in the future. The city approved the request. Nearby Frisco is spending more too. Since the hemp law went into effect, Frisco has spent more than $13,000 to test for THC in dozens of cases, something it rarely had to do before.
A lot of cities have just folded their arms and said, we're not spending that kind of money.
And that passes.
Austin City Council voted unanimously in January to bar the use of its resources to pursue misdemeanor marijuana cases, calling testing time-consuming, expensive, and a drain of both city and county resources.
For many of them, it's been an eye-opener and an awakening on how much money we're actually spending.
Andrea Lucia, CBS 11 News.